So look at verse 13 again. As it is written, Jacob I have loved, but Esau I have hated. Now this is a troubling verse for some people. Some are troubled that God would say he hated Esau. But it's important to know the context. When did God say this? When did God say he hated Esau? Well, God said this in Malachi chapter 1, the last book of the Old Testament. God said this some 1,500 years after Jacob and Esau lived. God did not say that he hated Esau while Esau was still in Rebekah's womb before he was born. God did not say that he hated Esau during Esau's lifetime. He says this 1,500 years later. And God can look back at Esau's life and make this statement. If you know the story of Esau, Esau was a man who was ruled by his flesh. He was a man who was ruled by his carnal appetites. He was a man who did not care about his responsibilities to his family or his responsibilities to God as the firstborn son. In Genesis chapter 25, Esau is described as a man of the field. A man of the field. Now that does not mean that Esau was an outdoorsman. That's how it's often interpreted. He was a man of the field. He liked to be outside. He liked to go hiking and camping and all of that kind of stuff. It does not mean that he was an outdoorsman. They were shepherds. They were all outdoorsmen. They lived in tents. The whole family they were all into camping. So he's not a man of the field in the sense that he's an outdoorsman. When it says Esau was a man of the field, it means he neglected his duties to his family. We would say today, he wasn't home when he should have been home. He's out in the field doing stuff when he should be home helping out, taking care of the flock with his father and his brother and helping out at home with the responsibilities. He's irresponsible. He's out in the fields. He's out somewhere neglecting his responsibilities to his family. That same passage where it says that Esau was a man of the field, it says that Jacob liked to dwell in tents. And again, that is often presented that like Jacob was like this, like homebody that liked to, like cook and stuff. Or I don't know. But, that's not what it means. It means Jacob was at home doing the right thing. He was at home taking responsibility for his role in the family and helping out when Esau was, missing in action, out doing who knows what, when he should have been home. And if you know the story of Esau, Esau sold his birthright for a bowl of soup. His God-given, God-ordained birthright. It was completely unimportant to him. He placed no value on this place in the family that God gave him as the firstborn son. And in a patriarchal society, the responsibility for the family is going to pass to the firstborn son. And he sold that away for a bowl of soup, just to satisfy his flesh. Esau was a man ruled by his flesh, ruled by his appetites. In Genesis 26, it says Esau married a Hittite woman, meaning he married a pagan idolater, and it says that his choice of wife grieved his parents. It broke his parents' heart that he would take a pagan idolater as a wife. And from Esau descended the Edomites, the people of Edom in modern-day Jordan. And the Edomites were pagan idol worshippers. So his whole legacy as that descended from him was all pagan idol worshippers who were ruled by their carnality and ruled by their flesh. And the Edomites were a constant enemy to Israel. They were a constant problem to Israel. Even going into the New Testament, the story of Jacob and Esau doesn't end with the Old Testament. It carries over into the New Testament, this conflict between Jacob and Esau. In the New Testament, Herod the Great, you know Herod the Great from the story of the birth of Jesus, right? The wise men come to Herod, we're here to worship the one born the King of the Jews. And Herod is so outraged by this. Remember, he orders the murder of all the children that live in Bethlehem in an attempt to murder the one born, the King of the Jews, Jesus Christ. Herod the Great was from Idumea. He was an Edomite. And so here, even with Jesus Christ, in the time of Jesus, it was a descendant of Esau who was trying to kill the descendant of Jacob, with Herod the Great trying to kill Jesus Christ. And 1,500 years after Esau lived, God can look back at the life of Esau and look at his legacy and his descendants. And here you have this rebellious, carnal person who opposes God, opposes God's way, who rejects his responsibility towards his family and his responsibility towards God. And God says, Esau, I have hated. God hates evil. God hates wickedness. God hates idolatry. God hates those who reject their responsibility, their God-ordained responsibility. God hates everything Esau and his family became. And so God can say, I have hated Esau. I've loved Jacob. And I have hated Esau.